Recording in progress.
Cool. So, going off structure, guys, very, very simple. Okay. We are creating higher highs. So let's just say from this low, all right, to this high, we've broke structure. Okay. Very, very simple. We broke structure here. So what's happened now is we pulled back and we've now created a higher high. Okay. Now, what a lot of people might be thinking is that why did we not pull the fibs from maybe here? Well, a few reasons. There is no imbalance within these charts here. So that's another confirmation I forgot to put in. Okay, imbalance. All right. This imbalance on these candles, all of these candles here have been overlapped by multiple wicks. So there's no gap within the price. However, on this pullback here, there is a clear gap in price, if you guys can see. Okay. Plus, we've got a nice support resistance area. And of course, our trend line that was obviously heading upwards. Okay. So they're the confirmations that we had. So fibs from this low, all right, to this current high. It created a little pattern as it did it. So anybody that was on, if you guys remember, we was literally hovering in between these two channels. Okay, so let's just play this out. Okay, it was just respecting between these two channels. Okay. The left-hand side, as you can see, there is a gap within pricing. So you look from the right-hand side of things. Okay, so the left-hand side is pretty much is irrelevant. You want to look at the right-hand side. So from this wick, okay, to this wick here, there's nothing on the right-hand side, okay? And it's at support and resistance, and it's at a discount area. So if I zoom out a little bit, okay, we're on a 15-minute time frame. You guys can see we're at the 78 and 88 area. Equal highs. So equal highs are when, where was our equal highs with this? So we didn't even have equal highs, to be honest with you. But all I did see was that this was a huge wick. So equal highs are just where money's laying, okay? Who's unmuted? Equal highs just mean where money's laying. So you normally have equal highs, equal lows, or any wicks just indicate that there is money available, okay? So on the 3 hour time frame, this is just a wick. However, on maybe the hour time frame, you can see it as an order block. So anyone that was on the call, a lot of people was probably trying to sell off here. Okay. They was probably trying to sell from this area here. But you never want to, if we're in a if we're in an uptrend, you don't want to go against trend. Okay. So a lot of people was probably selling here. Let's go back to the 5 minute time frame. And what you're going to notice is if I get up a certain pattern, okay. Uh, okay, this is the pattern that we was creating at this point. Okay, either a bullish flag pattern or a bullish falling wedge. It was more of a bullish flag pattern, so I'll show you guys what I mean. So price went up, okay, came up from here, back to this pattern, stayed in between our trend lines. What it normally does is it will take the low. So if I play this out, you guys will see what happens. Okay. All right, took the low, hit the trend line, filled this gap. We're at our discount area. And then what it would do is it will break the upside and keep it basically as a resistance. So what was a resistance is now a support level. Okay. And it's literally just played all the way out. Okay. It was being, what's the word? Stubborn. It wasn't moving very fluent. I think the chart the whole week hasn't been fluent. It's been very, very choppy, but it played out to a T. So you can see how within this area, this box, we have had sellers did come into the market. I think it came a little bit lower to just, I think maybe sweep liquidity. So this is where sometimes always going break even is not the best thing to do unless you're well in profit. Okay, and until you're up 30 pips, me personally, I do not go break even because the whole idea of break even, if you do go break even, you're basically scared of it hitting your stop loss. We shouldn't care if it hits our stop loss. Okay, really and truly. But because people are brand new, what we want to do is protect the community as much as possible because a lot of people are not psychologically ready for losses yet. But once you do get to that psychological state, you're going to understand that losses is part of the game. Okay. So if anybody didn't go break even, it came all the way down, I think, nowhere near stop loss, however. Okay. And then it's made its way back all the way up. Okay. So TP got hit. Anybody that was trying to sell from this order block, okay, anybody that was trying to sell from what time frame was it? The hour. Anybody that was trying to sell from here, they probably got in here for sales saying, oh, it's going to come down and sweep this whole liquidity trend line, which it did eventually. It just wasn't ready at the time. Okay. So you guys can see we got a strong level of support. Okay. We've got a few touches here, touch here, touch here, a few touches over here, as you can see. It then broke it, retested, and went higher. Okay. And this was from the scanner guys. And then we had news, of course, which you always have to be careful of. Okay. So I think what it's done now is it has come and swept all of this trend line. If we play it out, let's see what's happened. Okay. Perfect. So now we can get rid of this. We can get rid of all of this up here. This is all rubbish. Okay, this is all happened now. It's been balanced. So what was an imbalance, what was equal highs has been balanced. Okay. And now we can look to see what the market is giving us. All right. So low to current high, we've pulled back to our 78 area. Okay. Let's get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. Personally, still feel we are bullish. So um, anyways, for now, GU is not really my pair. We're just gonna let it play out. Let's go back to the scanner. It's actually calling GU probably sells. Okay, cool. Right, let's check this out. So this is on the hour time frame. So we go to the hour, and they are looking for sales where it currently is at. Okay. So before this wick, guys, this was equal highs. What it's done is it's come and taken money here. So this wick has taken money. Okay. They have pulled, what you can do is pull your fibs from low to high. All right. So you're going to pull your fibs from low to where it took the liquidity from above, if my mouse wants to work, to the current low, because these here are equal lows. All right. It hasn't got taken. So remember, it's from right to left where we want to look at the liquidity. So here, before this candle, guys, there was equal highs. It's come and taken it. Okay. Now there's nothing to the right hand side that has taken this low or taken this low. So going off what the scanner's given us, there is liquidity below. Okay. There is liquidity below. So my red lines, for anyone that's new, my red lines are my higher time frame support and resistance areas. Okay. So the scanner is, this is a 1 to 4 they're looking for. Entry is at 26036. Let's check this out. All right, we want to sell 26025, and the stop loss is 26140. It's 26140. So what's that? Is that 11 pips? Let's work it out. So get our ruler from our entry to here. Yeah, it's around 11 pips. TP2 is 256096. 2560. Cool. This doesn't look too bad. It does not look too bad at all. So we've clearly got an area of support and resistance over here. Okay. And we clearly have support and resistance above. Okay. So we kind of have to want to trap price. And that's what's happening at the moment. We're trapping price. So one of two things. Okay. We're either going to disrespect this, use it as now a support, and then go higher, or we're going to get the respect from this support to then either that to come lower. That's the one of two things that are going to happen with GBP USD. Okay, so keep an eye on this. Screenshot it if you want. We can check it out. What will happen? To be honest with you, it's 8:30. I wouldn't recommend trading if you're trading until Asian session or at least New London. Okay, but if you want to take a screenshot, or I can send this in. It doesn't look too bad at all. Okay, price is at currently, it's come and filled this gap. Okay, so this long candle here, price has come up, filled it to literally a T, you guys can see, and it's either going to come respect this support, or it's just going to obliterate it and come a lot further down. Okay, very, very simple. I'm going to send a screenshot of this because this looks decent. Copy image. Let me send it in now on WhatsApp. All right. Cool. Let's look at GJ. We also caught a nice GJ trade. Same thing again, guys. All right. Tell me what confirmations you guys can see. All right. So on Sunday session, anybody that jumped on, we had this liquidity trend line. It's come and swept it. But what confirmations can you see as to why I decided to take this trade? Put in the chat box what trend, what, oops, I nearly said one. What confirmations do you guys currently have? Or can you see in the chat box to see who's listening? Any confirmations? Trend line, okay. Well done, Olivia. Listening, I nearly said it. That's one. What else can you guys see? Let me zoom out a little bit. Trends and fibs, cool. That's two. What else can you guys see? Let's zoom out. Respected the trend line, yeah. Support and resistance, yeah. Okay, so if we look along, this is on the hourly time frame. We've got a nice area of support and resistance over here. Okay, you guys can see it over here. So we've got a higher time frame trend line. We've got a Fibonacci, okay. We had liquidity above, okay. So the same thing over and over and over again. This is when you have to kind of create your edge within the markets because there's so many examples I can show you over and over and over again where the same things are happening. Okay, so liquidity sweep, this was the liquidity sweep, that's number one. We then have a higher time frame support level that has come to. We then have our third touch on our trend line. Okay. All right. We've got one touch. What is this? Let's get rid of that. Okay, we've got one touch. two touches, third touch, and then it kept on going. And the fourth touch broke it. Okay, remember what I said? After three, it gets a little bit more weak. Okay, so our third touch broke it. There was, before this happened, okay, a lot of people don't go this high on the time frame. I want to show you on the weekly. Okay, this is on the weekly time frame, guys. Okay, not many people go this high, but on the left-hand side, you can see, if you lot see my mouse, this is all imbalance. This all needs to get, it doesn't need to, but it normally does get filled. Okay, so this little gap over here, okay, from where we are now, all the way up to this order block, this is imbalance. Okay, this is imbalance. This needs to get balanced at some point. How far did we come? We came to halfway pretty much. Okay, halfway pretty much. Okay, so where this rejected, this was a resistance and support. Okay, so we've got resistance. Okay, we've got a support. You can see the rejection of this wick here. Okay, that's two. Come to the right hand side, that would have been TP. And it's not only a coincidence that that is also the extension of my third of my fib. Okay, so for TPs, when you do use a Fibonacci, TP1, if it is the correct setup, TP1 is the high. So where you first pulled your fibs. Okay, that's TP1. TP2 is the extension fib, and then TP3 is here. That would have been perfect. Okay. All right. So all confirmations were available. What time it happened as well. You guys can see this happen at 1:30 it happened, or 12:30. Let's dive into it when it actually happened. Uh, so the move was at 12:30. So that's when New York starts. By 1 o'clock, 1:30, we was on the move. Okay, now we didn't even get a pullback. This is just me knowing how GJ works. It does not give you an opportunity for a nice retracement. Okay. It literally just obliterates it. Okay. But what is funny, because we didn't get a pullback, what now has happened is we did get the pullback today. So this was on Monday and we never got a pullback. Okay. So let's get rid of this. This has all happened. This is all irrelevant now. This is all balanced. This is all liquidity's gone here. Okay. This is all gone. However, if we pull out our fibs from our low, okay, to our high, same thing again, guys. Okay. You can see that price, it came a little bit lower. Why did it come lower? Because we have a support here. If we went to the 30 or maybe the 45, let's just say the hour. Okay. If you just did it off the top of this gap in price, okay, you guys can see the top of that, literally the peak of it. Okay. The top of that there. Let's get rid of this. Okay. It's pierced it. Okay. So what could have been same thing we saw over here happen. This is just a smaller version. This is a smaller version of what has happened or is happening currently over here. Okay. So we still have liquidity below, which is an option. Okay. However, we do also have liquidity above. Okay. Now our extension fib should fill the weekly. Okay. This should fill the weekly gap, which I spoke about. So if we go to the left-hand side, we should be able to fill it. If we go to the weekly, we scroll all the way up. Where are we? Okay. Let's go to the weekly and we scroll up. Near enough. Okay. It doesn't have to come all the way. If we go to the monthly, what's it doing on monthly? Okay, monthly is no good. The weekly, okay. It's still working towards the objective of filling the gap. Okay. So I wasn't on the charts during London. I think a VIP trade might have come out on this. I'm not too sure. But moving forward with GBP JPY on even on the 4 hour, okay, look, it's sitting exactly on top of our 78 area. You cannot write that. Okay, it's sitting right on our top. on top of it. So one of two things is we are going to get either, because this, remember, this trend line's been broken, guys. Okay, we've had three touches, and now we've had our fourth touch, which broke, okay, this trend line. So, all right, on here we haven't had three touches. So we've got one touch here, we've got our second touch over here. Okay. If we pull our fibs from our low, these are just, obviously you have to kind of wait and predict it. I don't think it will come that low. So let's go off of maybe these lows here, or from this wick here to the current high, sitting on our support area, and we have an imbalance. This is what we could look for next week. Okay. This is what we could look for next week. Okay, so we can get rid of this, or we can actually keep it, to be honest, because it might touch the other side. So moving forward, these are the possible things that could happen. All right, let's get rid of this, make this look a bit clearer. This looks messy as hell, but it's fine. Okay, so all right, cool. So one of two things. We are gonna get a reaction, okay, from here, from this downwards trend line. Okay, and we're gonna respect here. It's either gonna go, okay, it's gonna go, retest and go higher, or we're gonna get a rejection. We're gonna get a pull down to this here, which we haven't filled. There's still an imbalance here, okay, to then go higher. They're the two solutions that I see with GBP JPY. The same thing, guys. Because this has been broken, I would like it to break the whole side, the whole trend line. And also the fact that we've got this trend line that's been broken, what normally happens is it does touch the other side of it. So it will probably close here, but we're going to wick down here. So we'll probably wick here, same thing that we can see over here. It will wick lower, but it will sit above. So I'm going to send a screenshot for this as well, because this does look good. It's making sense, guys. Drop a one if it's making sense in the chat. Drop a two if you're a bit confused. So just kind of drawing a picture. You kind of got to draw images with your eyes at some point. Okay, so this will be our third touch. This one, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We just got to sit patiently and wait. But that is what I can see for GJ. I'm going to send this in as well. Or GJ. Gold. Let's check out gold. Let's do it with this. This is messy. Let's just clear all of it. Right. So on the daily, we have a few nice support areas. Okay. Like so. So now we can go into the smaller time frame, maybe the 4 hour. You guys can see this huge gap, which was waiting to be filled for a long, long time. For a long, long time, this was waiting to be filled. Okay. What had happened is it built liquidity. So from the trend line, from this low, Okay, so here. So if we count the touches of how many times this got respected, one touch, two touch, three touch. And then with gold, you're gonna get it being very, very stubborn. So it took 4 or 5 touches to break. Okay. The sixth time, all right. Anybody that was on the Zoom on Monday, it broke it, retested the other side of it, and then made its way down and filled all of this gap. Now it's not a coincidence where exactly this gap fills or finishes. This is where price tapped into. Okay, you guys can see this wick here. I was on Wednesday's Zoom. We was being so patient in trying to get this buy. I should have given it room to breathe really and truly. But yeah, that filled it now. So this has all been balanced. This has all been swept here. So money that was below here has now been swept. Okay, so we can get rid of all of this. And this was also because of news. So this was a news candle. When news does happen, it means that there's orders that need to be filled. Okay, so there are still orders from the banks that are here waiting. Now, what a lot of people are going to look for, okay, is for a pullback, for a sell. But we know that this was news. Okay, so there's a reason why um, Monara Trade Ideas is looking for higher time frames. I think he sent out higher targets for I think it was 2030, 2060. I think. Let me check my Telegram. Yeah, long term. Okay, he's looking for long term target 2030, 2040, and 2060. Okay, that's all the way. Right, that is all the way up here. So 2030, back to where news started. Okay, 2040. Okay, I can see gold looks good for next week. So what I can see straight off the bat is this nice liquidity. Okay, this is a liquidity trend line. Okay, so we've had one touch, two touch, three touches. What do you think is going to happen the fourth time? We're gonna eat the whole thing. So the same thing you guys just saw here, if I flip it, you're gonna see the exact same thing happen. Okay, so you see how look, there is now a gap below. So this is the chart flipped upside down. Okay, same thing will happen. Okay, we got the same gap. Okay, we got the same liquidity trend line. So now we've got money sitting here. Okay, one of two things is we're gonna respect here, which I highly doubt. Okay, we're gonna respect this area here, which I highly doubt. Or what we're gonna see is this, and then sweep all of this and probably even go higher. Are these equal highs? Let's see if that's equal. No, that's not equal. So here would be good enough. 2050, where he's pretty much looking at already. So this would be targets. So if we flip it, okay. All right. Even if we used our fibs from our low to our high over here, okay, we've come to, it's not a coincidence yet again, it's come to our 88 and 78 zone. You guys can see that here, right? Okay, so extension fibs with Bitcoin moving the way it is, with the UK now in recession officially, there's going to be a lot of money made. When there's a recession, that's when normally wealth is transferred. 7 out of 10 millionaires that exist today was created in the last 2008 recession. So this looks promising. Or when normally when recession is kind of approved, a lot of investors, a lot of whales put money in safe havens. Okay, Bitcoin is a safe haven. Okay, gold is a safe haven. So I do expect for a big swing on gold. Okay, I don't see why it needs to come any lower. Equal highs here. Okay, so anyone who asks what equal highs are, that right there, okay, the right wick has not pierced the left wick. Okay, so we have equal highs sitting above here. Okay, So tomorrow, so long as this is respected going up, which it has been so far. Is anybody still in this, by the way? Is anybody still in this? Drop a one if you're still in this. Anyone is still in the trade? Okay, wicked. Yeah, if I was you guys, if you have got a good entry, I'll definitely hold. Until this is broken, I don't see any reason why it should come back to us, really, truly. That daily can or the wick. Okay, let's clear this up. That weekly candle, it's just rejected it. Look how it's closed. Okay, daily. I don't see why this shouldn't keep going. Okay, I'm gonna send this in as well. Yeah, swap fees. You gotta love them. Okay, so that's gold. Um, yeah, if you're still in it, I'll definitely keep stay with it. So long as it's respected and it keeps on going all the way up. I highly doubt this order block is gonna hold. I'll be very shocked if it does. We tomorrow we do have news, PPI news, so that could definitely just send it on its way. The same thing that's happened here, guys. This is what should happen. So you just kind of got to look for where people's stop losses are. Where's the money? Where do people? Where does it look like people are going to have it? £270 in swaps today. Damn. Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. What time does gold open in the morning? Um, gold opens from 12. So every I mean sorry, 11. So everything will shut at 10, back open at 11. Maybe Asian session we can catch it. So tomorrow I'm going to be running a Zoom from 1:30. So if you can tune in, I'm definitely going to be trying to see if the market gives us something. I'm not going to force it. Um, but this does look promising. Sure for sure. Do you recommend re-entering? Not unless it gives me one. Unless it gives me a re-entry. We're out of session right now. So until either Asian session, which is you'll probably get a move at around 1:30, 1 a.m. Unless you're up at them times, you're gonna have to wait until New York tomorrow. Maybe even London. Probably ideally New York. So should be interesting. But if you're in already, definitely hold. I would definitely hold if you are in. Another example, I should have called this out to be honest with you. Same thing again, guys. Okay, so this is GBP AUD, right? We've got a nice level of support and resistance here. Even if I went to the line chart, okay. Gold is very hard to see on the line chart because it's very wicky. But currency pairs, you can see nice support and resistance areas. Okay, so you guys can see here we've got support and resistance areas. Okay, we then got one touch, two touch, our third touch. Okay, this was a perfect trade. So equal highs here, right? We got one high, right? One high there, another high here. Okay, that's another high there from low, right? Fibs from my low to my high. came to our 78, 88 area here. I'm not sure if it fit. Okay, cool. Same thing again. All right, we've got this huge imbalance. Okay, price from the top of that wick here. So you guys can see all of this has been filled. Okay, all of these wicks are filled. There's no gap to the right. There's no gap to the right. There's no gap. Okay, there's a gap. Let's go to the right hand side. Okay, this is where entry should have been. Right at the top of it, filled it, also touched our trend line, and then made its way all the way. Never came to TP3, but you should have at least maybe move your stop loss to what if you're in, maybe here. Like your stop loss should have been below here pretty much. But that would have been TP1 and TP2. So again, that was a yeah, just from there, that was a 1 to 10. So liquidity down here, you can see the trend line got broken, retested it. It wasn't a clean retest. It never normally is, but it went on its way, guys. So once you see this over and over and over and over again, and you save it in your ideas, I've got so many where all of these are pretty much just the same thing. Okay, all of these are just the same things that's happened over and over and over again. Whether I take it or not, I've just managed to actually realize the same thing happens again. So look, same thing again, trend line, okay, liquidity above. Let's go to another one. Trend line, liquidity above. This went a lot further. That's messy as hell, but we'll leave that for now. Same thing again. 1, 2, 3, third touch from low to high. Fibonacci rezone 78, 88. So definitely use this tool. I think this is to the downside. Same thing you just saw of gold. Look, this has happened before, guys. I've seen this happen before. So created a trend line, liquidity below, imbalance on the left, more liquidity over here, broke it, retested the other side of it, and went lower. Okay, so these things happen over and over and over and over again. Okay. Any pairs you guys want me to look at or any questions, anything you guys have been struggling with? Just let me just drop it in the chat box if you have. Any questions, guys? If not, the scanner's only given us GU, but the markets are pretty much rubbish at the moment, so I wouldn't suggest taking anything. But the best thing to do is just a lot of eye work, a lot of chart work. It doesn't mean because you're on a chart you have to trade, but just at least try and see the same pattern happening over and over and over again. Let's refresh this. Yeah, it's just GU they're giving us. Keep not getting into pending orders due to spreads. What is a good spread percentage wise? Um, what I'd recommend is I don't like personally setting buy limits. I'll only do it if I'm not on the screen. What I'd rather do is set alerts. So this GBP JPY trade, I was in the gym when this happened at 12:30. I just set an alert once it got to my area. Okay, so set an alert. I'd say set an alert 5 pips earlier than your entry. Okay, so set an alert 5 pips earlier than your entry and manually enter. Okay, manually enter. How long would you say? How long would you chart for a today? How long would you chart for a day or today? The more the better. Obviously, you don't. Well, when you're learning, if you're just learning, the more the better. If you're trading, you don't want to be on the charts all day because psychologically it's not healthy. But if you're just looking at the charts, when I started, guys, I was honestly doing 6, 7 hours a day. Okay, looking at it move, looking at it certain sessions, trialing and errors with my demo, even just drawing out the long position, short position, and see if it happens. Um, but it got to a stage where now I didn't trade to sit on a screen. I trade so I can do whatever I want. But until you get to that stage, you are gonna have to put in the hours to just make sure your eyes see the same thing happen over and over and over again. To master any skill, it takes 10,000 hours. So when people say they want to learn how to trade and they say I'm going to do an hour a day, you're going to be trading for 40 years. You're going to be learning for 40 years because an hour a day is 365 days in 1 year, and you're not even looking on a weekend. So you're going to be there for a while. Can we send our charts in? I don't see why not. As long as you're not giving inputs, like so what I've just done now, on WhatsApp, that's more than fine. I haven't sent out no uh, I haven't given financial advice. I've just given direction bias. So if you want to send in your chart work, I don't see why that would be a problem. It's only when you're giving out financial advice where there's so many new people and not everyone has the right mindset as of yet. They're just going to take your trade and then they're going to blame you. You're going to get a horrible message. So let's just not start that for now. But yeah, by all means, send in chart work. Um, any other questions that you guys have? So this was on EG. Okay. This was one that Samuel sent out, and that's how you know this week's been a bit shady. Because Samuel does not lose. He does not lose trades. I can vouch for him. Okay, so this huge trend line, as I saw it happening, okay, right. This is on the 5 minute time frame. Liquidity above, broke it, went higher, and obviously now I don't know if it's going to sweep the whole trend line, but it's definitely broke it and retested it. Okay. Okay. So what was once resistance, now support. Now we have not taken out the high, so that's equal highs. Obviously, we do have imbalance above over here and over here. So if anything, don't hold me to this. Just going off quick looking. That's what I could potentially see for EG. Okay, more equal highs over here. Have you had their messages? Hell no. They'd be brave. Uh, why didn't my trade enter myself earlier? Is there something else we need to do? I just explained that. So it's obviously because of spreads, where sometimes, depending on what time you're trading, depending on what currency you're trading, the spreads that the brokers give you may be a few pips off. So even number one, you have to calculate your spreads, which you can see on your quotes. So if you go on your MetaTrader app, you can see on quotes the number of that it gives you spreads wise, either minus or subtract it to what it is you're doing. So if entry was at 100 and your spreads is 5 pip and you're trying to buy, set your buy limit at 105. Okay, but then you also need to adjust your lot size because that's now 5 pips, for example, more. Okay, so these are things you have to you're only going to learn once you go through it. Or like I just said before, and set an alert, and then that's probably the best idea. Finland guy, not understanding everything, but I studying. I got the message. No worries, wicked man, wicked, wicked, wicked. But yeah, just drop a one if we're good to go, guys. If not, any questions, drop a one if we're all good. Appreciate you guys being on. Like I said, it is a bit advanced, so ideally, if it didn't make sense or people have been jumping off, obviously it just means education is required, which is what we're all here for. So, you guys jumping on. I'm gonna stop the recording.